Hi, Brandon. Welcome to Portland. Happy New Year. Just how did negotiations go once you hit free agency, and what made you decide to come here and play?
Yeah, honestly, pretty simple. Portland reached out. They were excited about me as a prospect. They reached out and wanted to speak, and going from there, I talked to Phil. Dave Vandenberg was my assistant in New England for some years, so that was exciting to chat with him again. And they were excited about the project, excited about what's going on here, and saw me as a good fit. So honestly, really simple. Been in the league a while. Heard about Portland. Played here plenty of times. Played against the club, and I was excited about the project.
Hey, Brandon, welcome.
Thank you.
I kind of want to piggyback on that. So having played Portland and knowing what you're getting into, was that kind of something that, I'm sure in other teams you have a great fan base, but you don't have a great fan base like we do. And so with that mentality, knowing that we have rivalries, knowing that Seattle exists, what is your mentality kind of around that as a player coming into Providence Park?
Yeah, super exciting. Honestly, I've played here, three times I think, I think 2 games were, one was a Wednesday, one was like a early season. I think it was the first game of the season, maybe 2022 or something like that, 23 maybe. But then this past year, I think it was a July 5th game or something like July, something like that, right around the holiday, and it was amazing. Crowd was unbelievable, and I remember walking out for the preseason or for the before the season or before the game, and kind of looking around and being like, wow, this is not what I experienced the first couple times coming here, and this is really special. So honestly, that stuck in my mind as soon as the off season hit and Portland was on the phone. So really excited to meet all the fans, to really get immersed here and see the crowd, of course.
Tyson, Caramel, sorry.
My man, Guillermo Mota with K2. Christoph Velda was just here. I'm curious have you guys had any conversations on the field, and how would you describe him as a leader of this team? Yeah,
we've had quite a few conversations already. Definitely a leader. Definitely can tell he has quality, and was able to see that a little bit toward the end of last season. But yeah, really excited to get on the field. It's interesting, playing in New England for so long. You're used to your DP guys or your big time guys, and understanding who they are, in and out of practice every single day, and then the guys you play against on a regular basis. You kind of understand who they are, and not really understanding what how Christopher was. And understanding and seeing that now, with 3-4 trainings in, and understanding the quality he has, I think it's really special, and he could be a big big player in this league. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Brandon. Welcome to Portland. You mentioned playing in New England for so long. When the free agency opportunity came up for you, I imagine there's all sorts of feelings of probably equally nerve-wracking and exciting. Just what did you make of the process, and how excited are you to land in Portland?
Yeah, it was an exciting process, a process that I haven't gone through before, and with New England, I would always re-sign a contract, or I was always locked in there. So knowing that that free agency was coming, and the possibility of moving toward the end of last season, understanding that was exciting, a little scary, I guess, trying to figure all that out, but. I knew whatever happened was just going to happen, and I was going to be excited to wherever I landed. Excited about the future here.
Bronco.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the team.
Thanks.
Español?
Un poco.
You're talking about the project and the idea of the team. Being here for the first time as a player, what seems to be the project? What's the idea? What is the spirit of the team?
Yeah, Phil comes in with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and a lot of passion. I think that's really important from a head coach, understanding that they're pushing us every single day to be the best, to push ourselves to be at the level where we're pushing for top 4, and we're pushing to win as many games as possible. I think that's as simple as it gets, and I think he puts out a very clear and simple message, and I think that's important.
Hey, Brandon. You've been around the league, like you said. What do you think you can contribute to the preseason, and what are your goals for yourself as a player? And if you don't mind describing yourself a little bit as a player, what you think you're.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm a player that you know will come in, you know, every single day and work as hard as I possibly can. I think that's first and foremost, you know, who I am. And then someone that you know can add to the attacking end as well as the defensive end and add leadership. Someone with a lot of experience in the league and understanding of what it takes to win. I've been on all different sides of winning seasons, losing seasons, supporter shield, everything like that in between, and in playoff games and stuff like that. So, you know, I think someone that can bring experience, bring understanding of the league, and you know, and really push the team forward. That's it.
Any last questions? Okay, we will wrap it there. Thanks for the time, Brandon.
Cool.